Hi, welcome to Churchill County Library Storytime. My name is Jess. The story I have for you today is The Flight of the Honeybee, written by Raymond Huber. And Brian Lovelock drew all these beautiful pictures. The honeybee is one of the smallest creatures in the world, but it may be the most important for life on Earth. It is the planet's greatest pollinator, moving pollen from one point to another, causing flowers to produce seeds and fruits. Honeybees can live in the wild or in boxes made by beekeepers. A honeybee can't live alone. It's part of a family that works closely together. A bee is always changing jobs. First, she is a cleaner, then a babysitter, a builder, a guard, a scout, and finally a harvester. And this is the story of a scout. And this book is published by Candlewick Press. A bee the size of a cherry pit crawls from the hive. Her stripes glow golden in the morning sun. Scout has spent her whole life in the crowded hive. Now it is time for her to fly out and explore the world. Time to search for flowers from which to collect pollen and nectar for food. Her sister bees are inside, making honey, but will there be enough? The cold is coming, and Scout must find the last flowers of the fall. Scout's wings hum to life, so fast that they are almost invisible. Lifting her into the wide sky, she rises in a spiral up, and away from the hive. Scout remembers what she passes as she flies, so later she can return home, and she knows the sun will guide her too. So this story takes place in the fall when all the leaves are falling, but honeybees work all year round collecting honey, especially this time of year. Scout flies swift and straight as an arrow. The wind buffets her, ruffling her fine hairs on her face, but she keeps on steadily and rides out the rapids. Eyes as black as polished stones are searching, seeking a splash of color below. An arresting smell drifts on the breeze. Scout locks onto the scent. She flies over a clearing, and spread before her is a marvelous meadow full of beautiful flowers. So bees are furry, and even their eyeballs are furry, and the hairs help them sense the changes in the wind. And she found those flowers, didn't she? Uh-oh, a flash of feathers. A hungry blackbird swoops for the kill, but Scout zips down and escapes into the trees, weaving between tangled twigs. When the coast is clear, Scout is drawn to the sea of flowers again. She settles on a velvety petal and plunges her head into the flower. Here is sunken treasure, a cup of sweet nectar. The tip of her tongue, shaped like a miniature spoon, sips the syrup. Scout zigs and zags from flower to flower, spreading pollen around. The pollen clings to her fuzzy body, a sprinkle of sun powder. You see that pollen on her body? Scout has finished drinking. She must tell her sister bees about this field of blue, but a thundercloud cloaks the sun. All at once, the cloud bursts. Rain batters Scout to the ground. She crawls under a leaf as hailstones explode around her. They have to avoid the wind and the storms and the rain because it can damage their wings, and then they won't be able to fly. The downpour passes, and Scout picks up the scent of her hive and follows it. Uh-oh, another crisis. Outside the hive, there's a squad of guard bees. A yellow-jacketed enemy is attacking. Scout knows that twitchy way of flying. It's a wasp. The wasp grabs Scout as she glides into land. It raises its stinger, but the guards attack it, wrestling the wasp with their legs. And bees don't like to sting, because if they have to sting a larger animal or like a human, then they die after that. So bees really don't sting. Scout is safe inside the hive at last. She begins a dance on the wax comb. An audience gathers, captivated by the floral scent on Scout's body. Scout spins a story in dance, every movement a sentence. Scout waggles, twists, and turns, describing the route to the blue meadow. She pauses only to share samples of the sweet nectar. Scout repeats her dance for many sister bees. So this is the honeycomb. Can you see the shape of the honeycomb? That's called a hexagon. And a hexagon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. Now that the sister bees know where to find the meadow, hundreds of bees take flight. They flick from the hive like golden pebbles. And this says, bees need to harvest nectar from more than 2 million flowers to make enough honey to fill just one jar. Back in the hive, Scout passes her precious nectar to the house bees. They put it in the comb and fan it with their wings. The nectar will be transformed into liquid gold, honey for the bees to eat. Scout visits the nursery where babysitter bees pluck the pollen from her body and mix it with the honey to feed the baby bees. Nearby sits the queen, long and lustrous. She is the mother of all the bees, and she can lay eggs that look like tiny grains of rice. Exhausted after her mission, Scout rests her silvery wings for a spell. Soon she will join her sister bees in the blue meadow for the fall harvest. With enough honey, her family can now survive the winter. Scout's daring flight has been worth every beat of her wings. I hope you liked that story, and I hope you learned something about honeybees today. And now let's do a honeybee craft. Okay, for your honeybee craft today, we're going to make our very own honeycomb. And remember, we talked about the shape. It's called a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And we can make a honeycomb like the bees do. And all the sides fit together, and you can make it as big as you want. And all the sides will fit together just like, kind of like a puzzle, really. And I already started mine. I'm just going to finish it with you right now. So you'll have that in your little packet. And then you also have, so you can make a little Scout bumblebee. So you have 2 yellow circles. We can make a bee on the honeycomb. And there's his yellow circles. There's his body, her body, and her wings. And the little stinger. Remember what we learned about the stinger? They don't like to sting because then they will die, huh? And what did we learn about the antenna? That's how she found all those neat flowers, huh? So you can make a honeybee to go on your honeycomb. And I didn't bring my crayon with me, but if I did, I would draw 2 black eyes right there. So you can do that. And the other thing you have in your packet today is a little honey sample. And this is called a honey stick. And this is clover honey. And this came from our neighboring state of Utah. And it's got some honey in there for you to taste. And all you do is clip off, have your mom or dad clip off this very end with a pair of scissors. And then you can just suck this honey out like a straw, and it's really good. Some people are allergic to honey, so be sure to check with your mom or dad to make sure it's okay for you to have this, okay? And I hope you enjoy your craft and send us pictures. And I'll see you next time.